back to WMMA Now with your host Chuck Stevenson, coming at you with a fight review. So we're going all the way to Japan for Rizin 16. Ayaka Hamasaki defending her super atomweight title against Jinh Frey, the current Invicta FC atomweight champion. So Jin moving up 3 pounds roughly from 105 to 108 for this super atomweight title, in quotations. So this was actually a rematch from their fight. First fight was a few years ago. It ended in the second round via doctor stoppage due to a cut. Hamasaki walked away with the win on that night, although I thought that Jin was ahead on the scorecards in that first fight. So it was very interesting to see how they would do, or what would happen in the second fight. So fight starts off and they are both seem very tentative to get going. I thought overall in the first 2 rounds, based on, because you know Rizin's scoring system, it goes by the whole fight, so with emphasis on attempts to finish. The first 2 rounds were mostly Jin getting the better of the stand-up. She landed a few good punches that totally spun Hamasaki around, but the real story in the stand-up was the leg kicks of Jinh Frey landing on Hamasaki. She had both of Hamasaki's legs beat red above the knee. I mean, she was tearing her legs up. Hamasaki had to switch stances several times to relieve the leg that was getting hurt the most at that particular time. And then between the second and the third round, Hamasaki's corner must have lit the fire under her ass or something. They must have told her, look, you are down. You've got to do something. Because Hamasaki went out and with the quickness in the third round, with less than 15 seconds, got Jin down to the ground, quickly got to side control, and from there basically controlled the entirety of the third round from side control. And by control, I mean that's mostly what she did, was control and not much else. She would land some knees, but they were mostly grazing to the head of Jin. And then finally in the last 20, we'll say 15 to 20 seconds, Hamasaki finally started turning up the volume and actually landing some good ground and pound, some elbows, some fists. It's where was this the other, 4 minutes and 45 seconds of the fight, of the third round? It's she waited because, again, the whole fight rules emphasize the later in the fight, the more emphasis you put on the end of the fight, the better your score is going to be. And I'll get into that in a little bit. So the fight ends, and, the one English commentator, I forget his name, he's not worth remembering, said, for Jinh Frey to get this to win, she's going to have to really pry it out of Hamasaki's hands. Of course, she wasn't able to. The unanimous decision went to Ayaka Hamasaki. Overall, not the most exciting fight. Congrats to Hamasaki on retaining your title. But like I said, it was not an exciting fight by any means. So, things to work on. Okay, for Jin, she needs to stop being afraid to pull the trigger and start putting out more volume. I think if she put out more volume, she could have won this fight. And this was her problem against Minna Grusander in both of those fights as well. I think Jin really needs to up her volume and not be afraid to pull the trigger as much. And then she's also going to have to work on takedown defense after this. I think this is, if I remember correctly, it was more of a judo-style takedown. But her next opponent could possibly be back in Invicta against Alicia Zapatella, so she's going to have to work on takedown defense overall. For Hamasaki, she also needs to not be afraid to pull the trigger. I don't know why she was so afraid to pull the trigger throughout the first 2 rounds. I don't know what the problem was. She didn't even attempt to take down until the third round. I guess the leg kicks maybe were doing that good of a job on her. I don't know. Matches to make, though. Or no, you know what? What else does Hamasaki need to work on? Oh, be more active on the ground. You're on top. You have side control. That's a dominant position. Don't just land some lazy, glancing knees and wait till the last 20 seconds to put the emphasis on your ground and pound. Get freaking busy. Okay? Nobody wants to see boring, wrestle fucking is a good word for it. Because that's basically what that was. She was content to just stay inside control, have the dominant position, and just land a few knees every now and then that really weren't doing that much damage. I mean, you would think knees to the head would do more damage, but it didn't. Honestly, it did not look like it from what I saw. So be more busy, both on the feet and on the ground. So now we'll get to matches to make. So for Jinh Frey, she's going to go back to Invicta. Possibly face the winner of Alicia Zapatella versus Viviane Pereira, which happens this Friday at June 7th. Looking at my calendar. That'll be an interesting fight. We'll see who wins. I think Zapatella will take it. Just because Pereira is another one who is, afraid to let go. For Hamasaki, possibly Rizin will schedule her to face Miyu Yamamoto. However, in the audience and gave flowers to both fighters before the fight was my main girl, Road FC champion Sahi Ham. So, personally, I would like to see a third fight between Hamasaki and Ham. The last fight was, I believe, in 2011. So we're talking 8 years difference. And neither fighter is who they were back then. And I believe that fight was also at 115 pounds. Whereas now both fighters are fighting in a division that is more naturally for them. So I would love to see that fight. July might be a bit early for Hamasaki, though. So who knows? So that's it, guys. Let me know what you think about the fight in the comments down below. Likes are always appreciated. And what are you waiting for? Subscribe to WMMA Scene Now, the best, fastest growing women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. We'll see you next time.